With that, we thank you, and we'll call up our third panel. We have, well, what we're talking about is, public expressions of hate like what we saw in Charlottesville do impact all of us, and they undermine our common humanity. So we recognize that the speech that does that undermines our humanity, that vilifies others, really does impact our common humanity, our communities, and so forth. And while we acknowledge that free expression does include the right to engage in that speech, it is important, I think, to acknowledge and take seriously the particularly heavy weight and the disproportionate burden that falls on the targets of that hate speech. So that is the purpose of our next panel. It consists of Saad Swalem, my apologies for my mispronunciation, but we do know that you are a civil rights attorney with the Council on American-Islamic Relations. If you'd like to take a seat up here, sir. Then we have Jessica Trubowich, who is a Community Building Director of the Jewish Community Relations Council, Joe Michael, who is the legislative manager, of Equality California, Joseph Viela, Director of Policy for the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, and Eric Harris, who is the Chief Lobbyist for the NAACP California Chapter. We have up to 45 minutes for this panel so that we get to hear amply from each one of you. I would please ask you, encourage you, prod you, and insist that you not exceed 7 minutes each with your comments, and that will allow for some additional questions from the panel. So with that, let's start with Mr. Swalem. Do I have that pronounced properly? My apologies, sir. All righty, and 7 minutes, sir, if you would.
Good morning. Hello and peace be upon you. My name is Saad Swalem. I'm a civil rights attorney here with CAIR California. Our community has experienced and continues to experience very challenging times. Thank you for inviting me to share this experience with you today. I hope that we can work together to make California a better place for everyone, including the 800,000 Muslims living in our great state. To start off, the American Muslim community has experienced a huge increase in hate incidents and hate attacks all over the country. CAIR's 2017 annual report on civil rights shows that Islamophobic bias continues its trend toward increasing violence against our community. In 2016, CAIR recorded a 57% increase in anti-Muslim bias incidents over 2015. This was accompanied by a 44% increase in anti-Muslim hate crimes in the same period. From 2014 to 2016, anti-Muslim bias incidents jumped 65%. In that 2-year period, CAIR finds that hate crimes targeting Muslims surged 584%. The FBI's own 2015 report found that there was an increase of 67% in hate attacks against the Muslim community from 2014 to 2015 that was reported to them. The unfortunate nationwide trend has hit home here in California repeatedly as well. Here in Sacramento, we've had numerous mosques vandalized and attacked this past year alone. We also saw a neo-Nazi rally that turned violent last year as protesters were stabbed. Throughout the state, we've seen unfortunate attacks on the Muslim community from SoCal to NorCal, Central California, and everywhere in between. These incidents have a real impact on our community, and something as basic as going to the mosque for prayer can become intimidating and frightening and nerve-wracking experience. Most unfortunate, however, is the clear evidence that this hate and fear has trickled down into our schools and directly impacted our children. Our bullying studies consistently show that Muslim students in public school are bullied at a rate that's twice as high as the national statistic regarding students reporting bullying at school. Our most recently published school bullying report found that over 55% of American Muslims students attending public schools in California have reported some sort of bullying based on their religious identity. Perhaps most alarming, the bullying is often physical. Almost 30% of hijab-wearing, the Islamic headscarf students reported offensive touching or pulling of their hijab at school. Studies have repeatedly shown that bullying can have serious and long-lasting impacts on the psychological health and mental well-being of our youth. We've seen this happening in real time over the past year. The Crisis Text Line, a major crisis counseling organization that caters to youth and teens, reported a 600% increase in intakes involving Muslim youth in October of 2016, and a 900% increase immediately following the November election. The struggles experienced by Muslim youth in our California schools have become a major concern for our community and a focal point of our work. We're finding that not only does student-on-student bullying impact our youth, but so does the inability of faculty and staff members to properly respond to these incidents. In some cases, we've even seen teachers themselves perpetuate Islamophobic rhetoric within their curriculum, or worse, target students because of their faith. In our last bullying report, 1 in 5 Muslim students reported being discriminated against by a staff member at their own school. Last year, we were able to work together to pass AB 2845, the School Safety Safe Place to Learn Act, in hopes of providing schools the guidelines they need to make sure that our kids are safe and protected. Unfortunately, most of AB 2845 was ceremonial. The one thing that this legislator can do is to provide protection and support for the Muslim community by protecting its children. Ensuring that every student has a safe place to thrive and learn should be a major focus for all Californians. This year, we did push AB 1318, sponsored by Assemblymember David Chu. However, it did not pass. That bill attempted to add a little bit of teeth, basically, to AB 2845. It was going to give employees training and resources that they need to respond to this very serious issue of Muslim, and also really seek students and others who people perceive to be Muslim who are being bullied every day at school. It also attempted to add a reporting requirement as well. So, I'm hopeful that in the future, with these very real stats, these incidents are happening, that we can all work together to hopefully provide resources that are needed to respond to this situation. Thank you.